On today's video, we're taking a look at Ultra Fusion cards, Special Set 2, how it works in the Dark Ring, the Orb Ring, and we'll also look at the Ultra Replica card holder.
It's morphin' time!
Hello, this is Soundout here, and yes, we will talk about Special Set 2, but we're talking about the Ultra Fusion card holder first. So, as you may know, if you don't, I have reviewed all the Ultra Replica Orb Ring stuff so far, the Orb Ring, the Special Set 1, the Dark Ring, and now we're on Special Set 2. But let's look at the Ultra Fusion card holder. I love Orb. I don't think you need to buy this unless you're really dedicated to Orb. It's literally wrapped in a cardboard liner and bubble wrap. The box is literally just an Orb origin picture and some cards. And here it is. Yeah. This is not the most exciting thing I think they've produced. I don't even know how different it is than the deluxe one. Maybe the paint's a little nicer. This is the card holder that Orb has in the series clipped to his belt. So you got a belt clip, and all it does is hold cards. You can take all the cards that he uses for his main forms, stick them in there. You got room for like 4 or 5 more. You can fit, I've been able to fit comfortably 19 cards in this holder, which is pretty nifty, and that's all I got. Comes a little stand, though, which is really cool. I thought it wouldn't, but when they announced it, I was like, okay, cool. Stand, card holder. That means you can put that right on your shelf next to your Orb Ring. Boom, there's your Orb display. And if you want it for cosplay purposes, that's probably better than anything else. Just like stick this on your hip, and then you can just pull a card and then scan it and go and have fun with your Orb Ring stuff. Is this the most necessary item? No. Does it come with any cards? No. If you just really want to complete your set of all the Orb accoutrements from the series, then that's what it's for. Otherwise, yeah, you can just easily skip it. But I picked it up and I'm happy with it, though it doesn't really do that much exciting. On to the exciting stuff. All right, now on to the meat and potatoes of the video, Special Set 2, which always come in these very funny boxes. And I mean funny because this is like the brown shipper box, like the outer mailer, so that it stays protected, and then I can't get it out here. And then you open it up and you're like, oh yeah, that's right. I spent like, you know, a significant amount of money on this little box. So you can see Juggler, you can see Orb, you can see cards. Since this is mostly Kaiju cards, but there are a couple Ultra cards in here, and we will talk about that. But these, basically, this is how it comes packed. Little box, instruction sheet, that's about it. So here is card set 2. Much like card set 1, this is basically filling some gaps in to complete some fusion potentials. And what's interesting is we don't get every Kaiju card that was produced in the deluxe line. So we'll talk about that at the end as to what's missing and if there could be a third card set. I think maybe. It's a maybe. But let's look at what we got here. So we'll go through all the cards, then we'll scan them into some rings. But first of all, we got Gankyu, we have Fire Golza, we have Super Kov, Recubus, Ace Killer, this is Alien Emperor, Dark Lugiel, Jiras, Five King, Galactron Mark II, Gilvas, Horoboros, one of my favorite modern kaiju, Zog second form, we have Ultraman Decker, which is interesting, we have Tiga Special, we'll talk about that as well. We've got Nova, Silver Bloom, Melba, Litra, Red King, Ella King, King Gessera, King of Mons, King Joe, Inmargo, Bemstar, Bolton, Alien Temperer, Alien Hipporit, Alien Guts, Juggalish Juggler, and Galactron. So if I'm not mistaken, in the order I showed, Gankyu through Zog's second form were ones that were never made before. The rest of them, like Nova through Galactron, were made in the deluxe line. And then, of course, these two Ultra cards are new. This is a Tiga special card for his 25th anniversary. And this is an Ultraman Decker card, which does not work in both Orb Rings equally. Let's talk about these two first. So first up, we're going to talk about the Ultraman Tiga special card. Essentially, this will play like a short, brief message about, hey, Tiga's anniversary, and then go Tiga special. It would have been cool if the artwork was like glitter Tiga, or more glitter Tiga, since the artwork for the Ultraman special card, which was about the 55th anniversary, in Special Set 1 had him with the Brothers Mantle. It would have just been cool to see that. But this is essentially just Tiga special. Let's hear what sound it makes. So I don't think there's a special sound from using both special cards, but let's try it anyways.
Ultraman Special Ultraman Tiga Special Fusion Up. Ultraman Orb Special Belial. 俺の名はオーブ。闇を照らして悪を打つ。
Well, that's cool. You can just make Space Sims Vaporeon Orb just by using these two cards. Even when you do, non-specific fusions with these, they'll just say Tiga Special, Ultraman Special. Here they say those, and then they do Space Sims Vaporeon. That's kind of neat. So here we have the Ultraman Decker card. Now, as you may know, the actual Orb Ring came out, I think, after Decker started airing. So this does not make a specific sound. One thing I do want to note that is very strange about the Decker card. So you see with like Ace here, you've got this design which matches, his chest with his color timer. Same thing with Father of Ultra. But like typically, I kind of took it as they're always going to have a center design, even if the bottom design is like their chest design. So when I saw Decker's card, and it does have his, he has this asymmetrical chest design where his color timer is over here. They actually adjusted the card for that. I thought it'd keep the element symbol in the center, but it doesn't. But, of course, let's see what sound this does make in the Orb Ring. So, sort of as expected, this doesn't really give us Decker's actual transformation sound. However, we can use this in the Dark Ring. So using this in the Dark Ring, which was produced much later than when Decker was airing, would have been after it was airing, we get a better sound. So while it still says attack for his beam as opposed to the actual name, it does have the full Decker transformation sound, which is pretty cool. So this card is definitely more useful in here than it is in the Orb Ring. But speaking of cards that work in here, let's look at the Kaiju cards. Before we start speed rolling the basic transformation of these, I did want to note that if you're wondering what show the Kaiju came from, you can see along the bottom, they have the same chest design sort of thing going on with the color timer, so you can know which Ultra series it is from, which is pretty cool. The other neat part is that you have kind of like this X design of chains going over the element symbol, but you can see like he's from Gaia. If you know, like that's, Rube, because we got the Rosso and blue colors there, that sort of thing. So if you're wondering which Kaiju went with which show and what they debuted in, you can just check the bottom of the card. So I will say on their own, the sounds aren't as exciting. Some of them have unique voice cries, others have generic ones, but essentially all you're getting is name, voice, generic kaiju roar, then specific kaiju roar or generic sound, and then name. And then when you do the attack, it's like, kaiju roar plus explosion. So it does get a little repetitive with a lot of these, but they're, of course, because this is the Orb Ring line, a bunch of these do a bunch of fusions that we couldn't do before. So much like how the Orb ring could do Jeed's fusions, the Dark ring can do Belial's fusions. Actually, both rings can do that, but we're doing the Dark ring's Belial fusions. Essentially, you can take this and 2 Kaiju cards. I believe we can do all the forms that were seen in the series, all the Kaiju fusions, and then one of the game-exclusive ones, which is why it's kind of weird we're missing a few other cards to make the other game-exclusive Belial fusions. But we will go through all the ones that we saw in Jeed. So we can do a couple Ultra Metal fusions. First of all, we have Teleston and Jiras to make Iramaki Teleston. Now, while Iramaki Teleston was basically a Jiras metal thrown at Teleston, Tri-King is a proper Ultra Metal fusion of Golza, Melba, and Super Kov that Celebro performed in Ultraman Z. Now, of note, you can't do Juggler's Metal Fusion of Zapandon because we don't have a Maga Orochi card. Next, we're going to go through Kaiju fusions that happen without the help of devices. First of all, we have Golba, which is a fusion of Golza and Melba. Next, we have the proper fusion of 5 King as opposed to just using the 5 King card with Fire Golza, Melba, Super Kav, Gankyu, and Reikibas. This next one is the upgrade to Ouroboros Metsuboros, which is Ouroboros, Galactron Mark II, and Gilvalis. Let's talk Ultraman Victory. So, Victory uses weapons based on Kaiju. So, King Joe and Ella King work with Victory. However, you can't cheat other things. For example, Victory's main weapon is the Shepherdon sword. We don't have Shepherdon. His secondary weapon, the EX Red Knuckle, it doesn't work because we don't have EX Red King. We just have regular Red King. So, let me show you for an example of why that doesn't work. So while we don't have cards for EX Red King, Gudon, Sadala, Shepherdon, Hyper Zeton, Tacon, or Alien Baltan, we do, of course, have King Joe and Ella King. So let's do those. Now, the same story goes for Ultraman X. We can't actually do any of his Mons armors, even though he has Gomora, Ella King, Bemstar, and Zeton armors, and we have those cards. They're not the cyber versions of those monsters, which is what X used. He used Cyber Gomora, Cyber Ella King, etc. So I'll show, for example, X and Gomora and how it doesn't activate the Gomora armor. So this is a nifty card set. Not like, I don't think it's as impressive as card set 1. Card set 1, you had all these Ultras and all these fusions and all the G-Rises and all the Zet Metal stuff. This, there's just less fusion potential because there's just less fused Kaiju. I do like that we get a lot of the Kaiju that appeared in Orb, or at least their cards appeared in Orb, even if we don't use them for fusions. That's pretty cool from a collecting standpoint. But will there be a card set 3? Let's look at the potential options. Not saying that there will be a card set 3. The only thing we know of coming up is the Orb Caliber in June, and that doesn't come with any cards. But let's look at what are the potential cards we could see for both Kaiju and Ultras to finish out fusions that we have fusion material for that we're missing something from. So there are some missing cards, and this doesn't necessarily mean they have to be made and there will be a special set 3, but there could be based on what we have. So first of all, cards we have Art 4 that existed in previous sets, either deluxe or etc. Gubula, Alien Mephiles, Hoei, Alien Barabu, Hyper Zeton's Death Scythe, Maga Orochi, Zapandon, Bemular Empowered, Renki Gurenki, Alien Metron Round Launcher, Darklop Zero, Kaiser Belial, Magatano Orochi, Alien Gapia Sadius, and Darebolic. So these are essentially just cards that we've seen art for, so it's kind of weird that they didn't make new versions of them. Then there's also cards we don't have art for, like the Ultra Fusion material to do victory forms such as EX Red King, Gudon, Sadala, Shepardon, and Hyper Zeton, and then X's forms with Cyber Gomora, Cyber Eleking, Cyber Bemstar, and Cyber Zeton. There's also some weird exclusions that are like cards that we have some of possible fusions like Tyrant, so we still need Alien Icarus, Sigurath, Baraba, King Crab, Hazagarion, and Alien Baltan. And then there's other Belial fusions that we were missing cards for where we need Tyrant, Bemular, and Arstron. Then there's metal fusions like Destrudos that need Donkan, Birdon, Satan Beetle, Crescent, and Majaba. Now there's much fewer missing Ultra cards. Ones that have been previously made, we have Zophie, Ultra 7, Jack, Ace, and Tara with their mantles. Definitely not a necessity whatsoever, but art does exist for them. There's also Agua V1, even though there's no Gaia V1, but again, not really super necessary, and the Zero and Orb card, which is totally unnecessary. Other cards we could get to finish out fusions: Luna Miracle 0, Shining Ultimate 0, Orb Spacium Zapierion, Orb Emirium Slugger are all used in Geed fusions that we currently can't make. We also still need Cosmos Corona to make Strong Corona for 0, and to make Ultraman Rega, we would need Tiga Tristerium, Ginga Victory, Exceed X, Orb Trinity, Geed Ultimate Final, and Groob. So ultimately, there could be a third special set, but not necessarily. We finished all the Orb stuff. All of these would be for additional material fusions. So that pretty much does it for Special Set 2. Now, of course, all the cards work in both devices. All the fusions, for the most part, work in both devices. So the next couple videos on my channel will be every card in the Orb Ring, every card in the Dark Ring, and we'll go through all the fusions. So if you want like a rundown of how everything sounds in either device, those will be the videos for that. But I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you hit the like button and leave a comment down below telling me if you want to see a Special Set 3. I hope they make one just to kind of round out some of those fusions, especially the Belial ones and the X forms, for example, and the victory weapons. But in general, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Plenty more Ultraman videos on the channel. There's stuff maybe from the past that you missed, and check the playlist at the end of the video for that. And definitely more in the future. Also, be sure to check out my live streams Mondays here on this YouTube channel at 5 p.m. Eastern. You can also find me on social media at Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, where it is still applicable, at Soundout12. You can also find my graphic designer on Twitter at DarkClaw643. Check out Hero Club at hero-club.com for Ultraman interviews and more. And until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.